Heartdrum and Harper Audio present The Others by Cheryl Isaacs. Performed by Julie Lumsden. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider. It contains a glossary, a note from the author, and more. For my family. Kanyen'kehá. 1. The other shoe. That was the problem. I left the sidewalk and turned into the entrance to the park, giving a quick wave to the lanky summer staff at the gatehouse, trying to focus on the crunch, crunch of my footsteps on the gravel path and keep my mind clear. But a lot of objectively bad things had happened to me recently, and for a natural-born pessimist, the recent past was not past enough, making the mantra of what if loop through my brain like a particularly unsettling train on a track. The sun was high in an impossibly blue sky, warming the back of my neck, and on the breeze came the heavy sweetness that was the signature scent of a sweltering summer just getting started. It was a beautiful day, perfect conditions to spend with friends and revel in the moment. But I appreciated none of it. I was waiting for the other shoe. The one that would drop, that would fall from the sky and squash whatever I was enjoying, snatching my happiness away like it was something I'd stolen. And I was happy, for the first time since my dad had left, since I'd been consumed with running, and then when I'd stumbled into a waking nightmare and almost lost everything for good. 2 weeks ago, I'd been on a seemingly perfect run through the vast forest that encircled our town when I'd stumbled onto an eerie pond, and immediately after, strange things had started to happen. Long a legend, the Blackwater was supposedly a small pond that only revealed itself to the unlucky few, and, once disturbed, unleashed the faceless, ragged man to wreak a cycle of danger and darkness until whoever had woken it managed to put it back to sleep. It was a story I'd heard all my life and dismissed as small-town fiction, until it all turned out to be horrifyingly real. People in town started to go missing only to return as the unfinished, faded, mindless drones. But the Blackwater's mental grip kept people from suspecting anything more sinister than the town having a lot of runaways. Bad turned to worse. Worse became unthinkable when my best friend Key disappeared. Only a few of us, my other bestie Stella, my boss Frank, and my new friend Foster, were free of the Blackwater's influence and could see what was going on. We stopped it by fighting the unfinished and following ancient instructions to destroy the ragged man. But even that hadn't brought Key back, so I'd gone into the Blackwater to get him. And then the pond had broken its banks and grown. Now things were back to normal as they apparently ever got in this town. I stomped up through the parking lot, seething that this was something I was compelled to do on a day like this, to see with my own eyes where the nightmare had started and ended. People in town were calling it the Big Pond. Previously undiscovered, they thought, but I knew it was just the latest iteration of something else, something smaller and darker and much more dangerous. Now, I'd heard it was just a pretty pond. We'd see about that. At the west side of the parking lot, I stopped at the edge of the new path cut through the brush by the park crew, the gravel they dumped carelessly, not really necessary. Anybody could have easily followed the shredded and torn branches left behind from the machines, naked white pulp, exposed like broken bone visible through flesh. The whole thing was barely a 10-minute walk from the parking lot, much shorter than the route I'd taken the day I found it, the one that I couldn't remember and had never found again. You only find it if it wants you. I shivered at the memory but forced myself to walk the new path, the goosebumps on my skin and sick twisting in my stomach at odds with the brightness and beauty of the day. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Cut right into the brush, the new path was like a corridor, outraged green and damaged branches rising like a wall on either side of me.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?